me okay, right? So yeah, so I got that, right? This conversation is one that is going to think about the effects of dolls on memory loss. And I should say that these community conversations are happening in conjunction with our current exhibition, our special exhibition upstairs in the South Gallery. It's Portraits of Childhood, Black Dolls from the Collection of Deborah Neff. If you have not had a chance to leave that exhibition yet, please do so right after our conversation today or come back another time. It is on through March 3rd, so there's lots of time to come back and look at it and consider it. But these conversations are meant to expand upon thinking about that exhibit in a lot of different ways. So we're really excited to have Kelly with us today to think about the dolls in relation to memory loss and think about how they can be reassuring and nurturing. So I'm going to hand it over to Kelly. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. When I first heard about the Black Doll exhibit here, I was quite moved. I thought, well, that is something I'm going to make the time to go and see. And then when I got the email from Rachel saying, would you be a part of the exhibit, I would, if I could, I would have done a cartwheel. I knew somebody would do cartwheels, no longer do cartwheels, but wow, what an honor. Thank you so much, Rachel and Madeline, and thank all of you for, and then you had a choice. You could be out there on this beautiful October day. You chose to be in here with me, so my heart is quite full. And so I invite you, thank you, I invite you to have a conversation with me. I have a few slides mostly to keep myself on track, but I hope that you will speak up when you have questions. Ask them. I have been an Alzheimer's educator since 2001, so for 23 years. And the one thing that has remained constant over that is that when you get a thought in your head, you have to get it out because you might not be able to hold on to it. So no such thing as waiting until the end. Feel free to just catch my attention and I'll answer to the best of my ability. I have 3 confessions to make. The first confession is I haven't actually seen the exhibit yet. I keep saying, I'm coming over here. And then I said, well, I'll go every time for the 19th. And now it's the 19th. So I'm here. So I have some ideas in my mind of what I think the exhibit looks like. But I don't actually know. So hopefully we'll have some time maybe today to see it. And certainly by March 3rd, I will come and see it. So that's confession number 1. Confession number 2 is, yes, I have a big enough ego to have a picture of myself as my first slide for today. I didn't make it, and I think it was great, so thank you to the team here.
It's a lot of our marketing strategy.
Yes, perfect. So thank you for that, and Rachel and Madeline asked me to do this, and they asked for a picture. I had someone who always had a picture ready, so that wasn't the issue, was which picture am I going to use, and then I remembered that I had this picture, and Rachel, you asked me what's this picture. And so I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to say it anyway. But I love the doll in this picture, really. So the doll in this picture is me, if you can't tell. And right here is more purple button-looking thing that says my name, Kelly, on it. And that doll was created at some point, circa 1978. When I was about 2 years old. I have no memory of this whatsoever. I do remember having the doll and playing with it, but I do not remember the process that got from me, a picture of me on a doll with rainbow hair, a me with rainbow hair. I cannot tell you that this is intentional in any way whatsoever on anyone's part. I'm sure that my mother was involved. My mother probably had this idea to have a doll with my picture on it. And the rainbow hair, I don't know. Now remember, I said 1978. This was the height of technology, I believe, in 1978. I don't know that people were just going around making dolls of themselves with rainbow hair in 1978. So anyway, I had this doll and I loved her. I hated her. And fast forward to 1994 when I turned 18. 18 years old, graduated from college, moved to Kansas City, left my childhood bedroom behind, pretty much intact, except for my mom moved herself my closet became their closet, and my room was basically as I left it. And I can't say that I found a whole lot about this doll until maybe about 5 years ago. My mom said, "Look what I found in your room." And I said, "Oh wow, I remember." I don't remember if the doll had names. It was probably names Kelly, but why not? I said, "Oh wow!" And by that time, it can't have been. Maybe it was about 5 years ago. Because I just done my hair over your nose for about 5 years. And I said, "Well, just facts. Who knew that I would grow up to become my very own doll?" I didn't know I knew. I had braids a few years when I was a little girl, when I was summer camp. I had braids in my hair, but I had beads on my ends. As maybe you've seen the actual first word doll. I had braids that go to summer camp, we go swimming every day at summer camp, and what 9-year-olds go to her hair every day at summer camp. None. So I had braids in, but it wasn't the thing to do to have rainbow colored braids. By then, 1985 or 86 or so. But by 2019, I was wearing my hair over braids, mostly because I had spent the summer in Costa Rica and the summer in Guatemala, and as a 34 and 37-year-old, I didn't want to do my hair then either. And so the braids worked out fine. I decided to add colors because why not? And here we are. Now I have every color, and I have this doll. So who knew that this doll was going to be a predictor of my adventures? I certainly didn't, but it all fits. And I think I even delayed starvation on them. I even waited a little bit longer to make the picture when they probably wanted, because I wanted this particular picture to show them that he was working out. So that is the story of me and my baby doll. I was at home this summer visiting my parents, and that the dolls in my room that wow, bringing it back with me to have a program today. But somebody said, "No, let her stay home, and then she'll be sick. Nothing will happen. Luggage won't get lost. You won't leave her somewhere." I don't know. I'm kind of a dramatic person, always worry about it, and there's things that can happen. Anyway, so she's at home in Los Angeles, in my bedroom, and now you can see. So there we have it. All right, so we're going to go to the next slide. We will fill with all of you another. This is the last picture of me in here, I promise. This is the very first ever picture of me. And it was taken sometime in March 1976. I can't be sure of the date because nobody can track back anything. And also when I was born, I was about a month early, and my mom said I stayed in the hospital for about 10 days. And nobody had a digital camera in March of 1976. And I don't think people really even thought about taking pictures the way that we do now in March 1976. So this is somewhere within the first month or so of my life. And that is my beloved grandmother Grace. I'm named after her. I'm Kelly Grace, and she is Grace. And I presume my mom took a picture. I don't know. I don't remember. My mom took it, my dad took it, somebody took it. And this is at 6307 Fifth Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90043. Why am I being so specific about that? Because that, I don't have any memory of that picture, but my long-term memory tells me that's my grandmother, that's her house in Angeles, 6307 Fifth Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90043. That has been her address since before March 1976. Continues to be her address. She passed away 8 years ago. My cousin, who shared her as a grandmother, lives in that house. Why am I pointing out long-term memory? Because that's actually dolls and memory. And why do we get so excited when Deborah Neff says, "Let me show you my collection of black dolls"? Why am I so excited to find a doll for myself? I don't currently have any memory issues, although there's always tomorrow. But there's something so powerful about a doll and about our long-term memory. Why do we even play with dolls in the first place? Dolls are nurturing. They show us how to nurture, how to mirror the nurture. Hopefully we get into who love us. Dolls are adorable, especially when they look just like us. Dogs sit right on your lap. They're so quiet and they keep screaming for breathing. They show us how to love. They show us how to be compassionate. They're really just wonderful. And the thing about this all is that if we do that for us when we're 1 or 48 years old, or as you will see with 94 years old. And that's something we've known for a long time. Memory losses exist for as long as memories have existed. Memory losses existed in humans for as long as humans have existed. First, I'm not going to say discover, because I don't know that you can discover a disease. It was first described, first identified by Dr. Alzheimer. So when you're on Jeopardy and they ask you that, you are referring, okay? Dr. Alzheimer in 1906 had a 58-year-old female patient. Her name was August. No one's ever been asked about it, I know, okay? And August was showing short-term memory loss. She was having trouble remembering things last few minutes, few hours, few days, few weeks. She was 58. To be 58 in 1906 was probably equivalent to being 85 today. That was pretty old. Today, 58 is nothing. You're just getting started. But 100 years ago, to be 58 was pretty old. She was exhibiting these memory loss symptoms. She was based on Dr. Alzheimer, who was I guess what we call a neurologist then, although I don't know that neurology in 1906 looked like neurology in 2024. There were not CAT scans and PET scans, and forgive me for not knowing the X-rays. I know there probably weren't X-rays. I don't know when X-rays became a thing. I should Google that. I don't know. But if you all know either, then we'll all sit there saying, yeah, probably not. So anyway, Dr. Alzheimer did not have all the tools that we currently have to diagnose memory loss. But he did, and that was pretty much closest to the beginning of our understanding that as we get older, some of us, not all of us, but some of us experience forgetfulness as part of a disease process. This is what I would call it.
That's very important event of 1895.
1895. So, I mean, it wasn't that much sooner. It was still a new technology. Thank you. I'm going to remember that for the future slide, but as we all know, X-rays are
And to be clear, I Googled that. I did just know it. So.
Well, I mean, I knew it, and I can remember. I mean, you all know it. I guess this is being recorded. People who watch this will know what all the future people will just think. Oh, my goodness. She should go in there. Okay. So 1895, that gives us a good context, I think, for kind of how technology has evolved over time. So Dr. Alzheimer said, yeah, this lady is forgetful, she's 58, she's got one foot in the grave, but I don't think this is how this is supposed to be. This is not just what happens. Fast forward 100 years, 118 years, and we can confirm that what Dr. Alzheimer was saying was correct. Memory loss is something that, if you have a brain, will happen to you. Memory loss is part of the disease process, like Alzheimer's disease. If you want to Google something else for me, I've said this for 23 years. I don't know if Alzheimer's disease was named after Dr. Alzheimer, like as a sort of congratulations or an honor, or if he was like, well, I'm going to figure this out, I will call this my disease. I don't know. So if you Google that, we'll all look together. So anyway, forgetfulness that causes problems in our daily lives, that is part of the disease process that can be diagnosed with. We now know how 11-year-old technology calls X-ray, or a recent technology called PET scan and CAT scan. We know that that's not a normal part of aging. And so I'm going to tell you a few more things about that. But first, another photo. I'm not going to listen. This is just a memory. This is my grandmother in November 2016. This was election week of 2016. That's all I'm going to say about election week of 2016. You know what happened. She did not know what happened. She was probably better for it. But she was 94 that week. Living at her own home, being cared for by my mother, who was a nurse, by my father, who was a physician, and by my cousin, who was at the MBA and in the stock market and several things, and so now has an in-home care business for older adults. It's very, very other grade. She's 94 and I think those pictures. And this is her baby doll. And that's a boy baby doll. Then there's a black boy baby doll, which is a unicorn. Yeah. I don't know that you can just walk into feeling like toy store. No kids are really in the toy store. Wait, that's not even exist anymore. I don't know. Okay. So when I was, that first picture, when I was really young, you couldn't necessarily walk into the store and get a black girl baby doll. I remember getting a black baby doll, black Barbie doll, and being very excited. But it wasn't Barbie, it was a friend. I don't remember what her friend's name was. It was her friend, and her had a rainbow doll. I had a doll that was very much like George Lisa, and her name was Lisa. And before you think I knew something about Lisa Loeb is probably not the same age as I am, so what I named after Lisa Loeb the singer, but why does that matter? Because my last name is Loeb. But I had a baby doll that was a lot like yours, named Lisa in the 1970s. So anyway, here's my grandmother in 2016. I don't remember where she got this black boy baby doll from, but somebody found it and gave it to her. And as you can see, she's pretty enamored with this boy baby doll. His name is Lark, L-A-R-K. And in the midst of her dementia, which she had been diagnosed with about 2007, when she was 85, she decided she wanted to name this baby boy Lark because she said Lark's always sweet and friendly and they're happy. And Lark is actually a name that is not gendered. It could be a girl name or a boy name or any kind of name. That's part of why my name is Kelly, because Kelly is mostly tied to girls, I think, these days. But Kelly could be a boy name or a girl name or any kind of name. Other names in the running for me were Courtney. I guess my family really didn't want to be tied to any kind of gender determinant, but I think it's kind of cool. And the other choice for my name, if I had a deeply born boy, I would have been Charles IV, which is a lot of name to give to a baby. So I think I'm a little bad about that. Or my mom's favorite movie, my favorite movie is The Sound of Music, and she really liked Weasel as a name for the children in The Sound of Music. And what stopped her is that she didn't want them to call me Weasel the Weasel because she figured some kid would. So I had Kelly, which I like very much, thank you. But Lark was a name that my grandmother really enjoyed. At 94, this is, with dementia, she thought, this is a name, it can be for a boy or a girl. It sounds like a bird singing. And one of our family's favorite songs is You'll Never Walk Alone. Note that it's by the great songwriters, Raj and Hammerstein, responsible for the Sound of Music. It's a circle of life. And this is one of my favorite lyrics from that song. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky with the sweet silver song of a lark. Here's confession number 4, I think. I did not know this until this morning when I was making sure I had everything ready for today, that it was silver song of a lark. So for 40 years I've been singing this song and I thought it was a sweet, simple song of a lark. But it's not. It's silver. Which is kind of more interesting than stuff simple. So see, I learned 2 today. Alright? And so you can see, I hope from these pictures that my grandmother was pretty comforted by this baby doll. She passed away about a month after this. She passed away on December 19th, 2016. And these pictures were, as I mentioned, election of 2016. And the pictures that probably came like right before this one and right after that one might look different. They might look like, don't take my doll away, or why are you messing with me? I can take my picture, and maybe we want to capture that. These pictures are her doing that baby doll at 94 years old. I'm not sure why you were a little more modest when they first started that picture, but I don't think she would mind. I think she had no idea which we done on the screen for people to look at and to hear her story. And so, yeah, she did not walk alone. She was smart enough to have a daughter who was a nurse, a father, a son-in-law who was a physician, and a grandmother who was a social worker. She had every resource available to her and still had dementia, which seems to be not wrong. And that is something that, look, I thought my career in dementia education would be some kind of get out of jail free card, or, immunity pass, or I don't know. So far, this program has passed along. Both my parents who are 75 this year seem to be doing well. In fact, better than I am. They're tired of having a wonderful time living their lives. No signs of dementia, and I'm hopeful that that will stay true. I don't, except for my occasional forgetfulness on a pretty much daily basis, I seem to be okay. But we don't know. It's conversations like this one. And I realize this is a very one-sided conversation, but please speak up when you want to. Conversations like this one are going to help us move that needle closer to understanding and eliminating this disease. So, wow,
It's a little.
I know, it's you. Yes.
You mentioned dementia.
Yes. We have people who are stepping up, babies, yes. We're going to come to that in fact on this next slide. So, what is Alzheimer's disease anyway? And I think I've mostly said Alzheimer's here so far. Maybe said dementia. You will often hear those two terms used interchangeably, which is a great segue to your question of which one is it? Okay, so I'm going to answer that right now. What is Alzheimer's disease? It is a progressive and fatal brain disease that currently has no cure. And every time I put that piece to the side, I'm like, oh, we're going to move down, right? When we say progressive, we mean progressive in not a great way, unfortunately. We mean progressive in terms of it's a one-way downhill path. So once you have a diagnosis, or even prior to diagnosis, once the disease begins in somebody's brain, it's always going to be there. It's always going to decline over time. Okay? It is fatal. Alzheimer's disease is currently the number 6 cause of death in the United States. Heart disease is number 1. Number 2, 3, 4, and 5, I don't know in what order, but I would imagine things like cancers, trauma and injury, unfortunately gun violence, probably in the top group. And maybe one or two more, I don't know. And then number 6 is Alzheimer's disease. To answer your question specifically, Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Dementia is a broad term, right? An umbrella, like a cookie. Last time I was there were cookies. So that's all I want. Name what kind of cookies your favorite. A snickerdoodle, very good. What else? Other kind of cookies. Chocolate chip, peanut butter, oatmeal raisin. We can name a different cookie for everyone in this room. What do all cookies have in common? No matter which one you like the best, they're all delicious, right? I mean, have you ever really had a cookie that you didn't like? If you didn't like it, you just find another, right? So cookies are, in general, a thing that tastes good. For the bakers in the room, all cookies have, as their main ingredients, flour, sugar, eggs, butter, some kind of, I don't know what you call it, some kind of filling. Leavening, yes. I was leaning toward the chocolate chip with the raisin or the nuts or so something that make it taste even better, right? Many cookies, but not all cookies are brown, right? Many cookies, but not all cookies have to be baked. You can also do the no-bake kind, they just stick in the refrigerator, right? Some cookies have nuts, some cookies don't. So the point is, cookies are a broad category, and there are lots of different kinds of cookies. Dementia is a broad category, and there are lots of different kinds of dementias. I don't know how many kinds of cookies are around the world, but there are about 70 different kinds of dementias. Alzheimer's is the most common. Alzheimer's is about 70% of all dementia. So, when we say someone has dementia, 7 out of 10 times we are saying they have dementia of the Alzheimer's type, or you were supposed to chocolate chip first, here. Cookie of the chocolate chip. Because chocolate chip is probably the most popular kind of cookie. Snickerdoodles are still awesome, okay? Chocolate chip cookies and snickerdoodles have in common, I would imagine, flour, sugar, butter. Snickerdoodles have that lovely sugar instead of the name on the top. Chocolate chip cookies have, of course, chocolate chips. The other kind of cookies might have the raisins or the nuts or whatever. Other kinds of dementias you have no doubt heard of. Parkinson's disease. In the news very recently, frontotemporal dementia, which is what Richard has. Lewy body dementia, which is what Robert Williams had. Vascular dementia, or dementia because of stroke. Those are probably the top 4 dementias that most people have at least a passing understanding of. Another kind of dementia you may not be as familiar with, Korsakoff syndrome. Have you ever heard of Korsakoff syndrome? Korsakoff syndrome is dementia related to alcohol use. So alcoholism, overuse of alcohol can cause memory loss in the future. Changes in behavior very similar to what we see in Alzheimer's type dementia, but its onset is exacerbated by alcohol abuse is not the things that we know are connected to Alzheimer's disease. So, yes, they do. Bruce Willis, right? Frontotemporal dementia. Bruce, I keep needing to look this up, like we were trying to help us. Bruce Willis is not 70, I don't think. He's in the 60s, maybe he's 70. I'm 48, so he's got to be 60, right? And his frontotemporal dementia is a bit younger. Same for Robert Williams, who took his life by suicide. And there's actually a really great documentary called Spark about Robert Williams and his Lewy body dementia. And we learned from that dementia that Robert Williams did not know his diagnosis of Lewy body dementia. He knew that he was having symptom behaviors, and I'm sure that was overwhelming for him. I didn't know him, I'm not speaking for him. But in the movie, they talk about how his diagnosis came after the life we were able to look at his brain in a way that we cannot do while somebody is alive. Okay? So lots of different kinds of dementias. All dementias have in common changes in function of the brain. The word dementia comes from a Latin phrase, de mentis, which literally means out of the mind. So when someone has dementia, what we're saying, except for during Halloween season when everybody is demented, when we have we're clinically diagnosed someone with dementia, we're saying the brain is not. They're forgetful in a way that interferes with quality of life. They are not able to do what we call activities of daily living, like eating, bathing, dressing, toileting. They probably are having trouble with language and mobility. So Parkinson's disease, you're, I think, familiar with, and we typically see tremors in limbs, arms and limbs, Parkinson's disease, and changes in the brain pattern too that indicate those motor skills that probably the most famous example of Parkinson's disease is Raphael Cox, right? He's had Parkinson's for, I don't know, 20 years now, right? And he is not 65, I don't believe. And I don't know him personally either, but whenever I see him on TV, his cognition appears to be pretty good. He has trouble with speech, but he doesn't seem to be have declined in terms of his ability to speak and communicate. And that's just another form of speech. Okay, so next point I have up here.
Michael J. Fox is 63, Bruce Willis is 69.
Michael J. Fox is 63 and Bruce Willis is 69. Both of those are pretty young men. And I want to be very careful as I say that because I want you to remember everything I tell you today. But some of the most important thing I want you to remember is that dementia, and particularly dementia of the Alzheimer type, is not caused by age. Age alone is not make someone have dementia. Really. Do we have a lot of people who have dementia who are more than 65 years old? Of course we do. So I have heard it called Alzheimer's disease. So it is a disease that we see in an old population, but age alone does not cause Alzheimer's disease. People do not get Alzheimer's any other dementia for that matter, simply because they've reached age 65. And Michael G. stops at 63.
Yes, and he was diagnosed in 91 at the age of 30.
Okay, so I just remember watching Family Ties, and that's what I really watched that movie. Okay. All right, so I said this already. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, and the star there is to remember to say what makes it different from all dementias. So you're welcome. Okay. Here's a bit of proof, unless you're a statistician, that age does not cause Alzheimer's disease. So in people age 65 or more, we see Alzheimer's present in about 70% of people. Sometimes I remember not to put that part of the slide up and ask you what they think, but I didn't remember that this time. So your answer, is that surprising to you? Yes. Why is that surprising? Thank you for saying yes. That's a significant number. Did you think it would be less than that? You're unusual. Most people say, I thought it was way more than that. Yes, but it's not. It's only about 10% of people 65 and older. So that means 90% of people 65 and older do not have Alzheimer's disease. That also means statistics can say what we want them to say. And what I want you, I could have put on here, 90% of people 65 and older don't have Alzheimer's disease. And that basically is the same as saying 10% do. Except for 10% not having Alzheimer's just feels more something to me that I can't quite find. But 10% only. However, if you go to people age 85 and older, it's a big jump, right? About half of people age 85 and older have Alzheimer's disease. I'm telling you that not so you can start counting down to your 85th birthday, but so that you know your risk increases as you get older. The single most important risk factor for Alzheimer's disease, I used to say more often than I'm about to say, I used to say it was age. Age is the single most important risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. And that's true. Most people who have it are 65 or 85 or more. But the real single most important risk factor for Alzheimer's disease, the one that 100% of people who have Alzheimer's disease have, every single person, is having a brain. So if you have a brain, you're at risk of having Alzheimer's disease. In a way, it might be stressed out. But having a brain is the risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. You hopefully won't get it, but you might. Yes.
I wonder what the statistics would be for people with diabetes and brain
You must need me ahead of my slides.
No.
It's okay, yeah. So yeah, what is the statistic for people who might have diabetes or who might have had a traumatic brain injury or something else? Hold on. I know I said you could ask me now, but I have to slide back. So hang on. All right, so age is a risk factor. Age alone does not cause Alzheimer's disease, but age is very common. We all know somebody over 65 or even over 85 that does not have Alzheimer's disease. We have a very famous example in President Jimmy Carter, who just reached age 100, and I mean, I don't know that he's long for this world, but he doesn't have Alzheimer's disease. We have Betty, I was going to say Betsy Ross, that's the black lady. Betty White. Betty White, who made it to like 99.999. Betty White was one of the seniors like grandmother. I don't know why Betty White made it to almost 100 and she had Alzheimer's, and my grandmother didn't, but here we are. Betty White lives to be almost 100 years old and was still on Saturday Night Live and was still, living her best life. So two examples of many that prove, right, that age alone does not cause Alzheimer's. Okay, return your attention to the photo there. This is an arbitrary, it's like a cross-section of the brain. Take a slice of the brain and look at it head on. The one on the left is a healthy brain, or at least a brain that does not have any dementia process happening. The one on the right is what we know as Alzheimer's. That's Alzheimer's brain looks like. What stands out to you between those two brains? It looks like a cauliflower, yeah. It does. So the one on the left is supposed to be bigger than the one on the right, so we experience atrophy. That's part of the dementia process, part of the Alzheimer's progression. Of brain motion moving like the one on the left to the one on the right. And those bigger spaces that you can see that look like cauliflower represent the loss of tissue, of brain tissue. All of us, as we get older, experience atrophy or shrinkage. Our hearts, our large vessels, our brains. For the majority of us who do not get Alzheimer's disease, we lose some, but not enough to cause the disease process. People who lose enough to cause the disease process end up with one of the dementia diagnoses. And so we think about the brain being the control system of our body, and brain is telling us things that we don't think about. Breathing, heartbeat. I'm going to just walk across the room and stand over here for a little bit. I don't have to do anything in particular except just go. Because my brain so far is intact. Thinking, speaking, communicating, feeling like it's, I feel like it's really warm here, but it's because I'm running my mouth probably. And I'll just hang on and drink some more water. But I can do all of that sort of living stuff without even thinking about it. My brain hopefully just more like the one on the left than the one on the right. Okay, now I really have to go back. That's the thing about doing 10 communications if you're a 10,000 steps a day person. This is the great weekend. Okay. Alright. Oh, last one. Changes in a person's memory, thinking, and behavior. Those are what all dementias have in common. Alzheimer's disease is typically the one you're most familiar with. We do not have a cure for any dementias. Dementias are reversible, they are progressive, and they are one way. And that's why it's so important to get education out to people. The more educated we are, the better chance we'll have of finding out what's going on. So I'm going to show you some more pictures. So these are MRIs after 1895, I'm sure. MRIs. And an MRI is a way to determine the structure and the shape of an organ, a body part of something. MRIs are stagnant and flat. So when we have an MRI done, whether it's of our shoulder, knee, or the brain, we get a picture of what the brain looks like on that. Top left picture, MTA. MTA standing for atrophy or loss of material. That's what we would expect when it's marked 0, even when that's marked 1. That's what we would expect in the brain of a healthy 65, 75-year-old. These are not necessarily in the red box. They're starting to see some spaces open, starting to see some atrophy. That's the part of the brain that is the hippocampus. The hippocampus is what is important for our episodic or short-term memory. So the last minute, 2 hours is still intact in this part of the brain for this person. By the time we get to number 4 on the bottom, you can see the space is much bigger. We've seen a lot more atrophy. The hippocampus is damaged. And so what did I have for breakfast today? But my baby mom, when I was a little girl, I can remember her. I remember that I love her. I remember that I didn't hold her and feed her, whatever it is we did together. It's why people who have Alzheimer's disease have a harder time remembering recent events, but who come to the Toy Miniature Museum and look at great exhibits, especially one of these Philip Cavendish kids. Yeah, and why it was just so fascinating. I haven't played with my Cavendish kids in 40 years, but the minute I go up there and see one, I'm going to be transported. And I don't even have Alzheimer's disease. But that's the magic of understanding the difference between a loss of short-term memory, someone with Alzheimer's disease, and what remains intact, all the other parts of the brain that contribute to long-term memory. That's why dolls can be so vivid for people. Even if they didn't have to believe they don't know their kids, you can still find some meaning in dolls as older adults. So you can see the progression here over time, and this is contributing to our knowledge of what happens and what direction we can work in towards finding a cure. Alright, let's see. Alright, so this next slide, we got 10 warning signs about Alzheimer's disease. Every time I show this slide, I give this information to people. I see people reading the list, and taking their cameras out, and taking notes, and writing things down, and saying, oh no, number 3 and number 7 have both happened to me today. Don't do that. Do not, this is not a diagnostic tool. This is information. This is things to watch out for in yourself, a loved one, a neighbor, a church friend, whoever is around you. And what I want you to take away from this more than anything is that any one of these things on its own that happens in a way that disrupts daily life is worth mentioning to your physician, to your loved one, to your faith community, to somebody. Any one of them on its own. Any one of them on its own can be isolated, can be just here's the thing that happened. Any more than one of them taken together, plus age, plus all the other things I'm going to tell you, are worth including diabetes, spoiler. Any multiple of these things is useful. Number one could just say memory loss. It's a really often pretty routine. Memory loss that disrupts daily life is more specific. What do I mean by disrupts? So an example of something that I forget with some regularity is, where are my keys? I don't know right now. I hope there's a bag down there. I have one of those cars where you don't have to have the keys to start. They just have to be like within a few feet of the car, which is both convenient and horrible. Because it doesn't trigger me to remember where are my keys. I was once driving north on 71 highway, got on right at either 31st or Loeb, so I haven't quite gotten to speed yet. I'm just driving it, listening to my music, and I hear this sound. Something sliding down the back window of my car, and I looked just quick enough to see I had put my keys on top of the car and forgotten them. The darn car started because that's supposed to be helpful, and it slid down, and if I had gone any faster, or stopped suddenly, or something, those keys would have been somewhere on 71 highway. I would have got left because the car would keep driving, but I wouldn't have known. And not only was it my car keys, it was my house keys, and the work keys, and all keys. So, this is memory loss. I remember that I put them on top of the car. And somehow the universe conspired to say, hey, here are your keys, and I'm able to stop in time and pull over and get out of the car and retrieve the keys and put them inside the car. And I was able to take a step-by-step process to manage that. I mean, and my heart was racing, right? And I was doing all the praying I had ever done all at once to say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, because what would I have done? I do not know. A person who has Alzheimer's disease probably would not be able to follow a step-by-step process to manage that situation. They would probably pretty reasonably freak out, just like I did, but then not be able to take the next step of the over and stop and look. The person who has Alzheimer's disease who doesn't know where their keys are, how they don't particularly care where their keys are or what they're for. Or even if they did, get in their car, forget because of that hippocampus deficiency, forget if they didn't know where their keys were, and keep on going, and then have a problem with it. Okay, so the disruption is not just, it was very disruptive to me to have that happen, except for now I can tell the story to you, so it's useful. Disruption is when it causes a crisis that can't be solved, when it causes a problem that is endangering, when it happens repeatedly, without the person being aware that someone else has something going on. That's what's going on. And so the list goes on, challenges in solving problems. We might all have an example of I had a problem I couldn't solve. We eventually will come up with a solution. The person with the disease is going to be increasingly less available and able to do that. Difficulty completing familiar tasks are coming up on the best time of the year in terms of food, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. And there's so many opportunities. It's great, right? And when we celebrate a lot of this is that we make these elaborate meals. And they have a lot of moving parts. They all have to be done at the same time. You just go again and come over at 3 or whatever it is you did. And sometimes Alzheimer's disease is exposed by failed Thanksgiving dinner because the turkey went cooked all the way through. You forgot the macaroni and cheese. You didn't. I don't like it. I just eat, so I don't know. I don't know the steps. But all the things that have to happen, maybe they're not happening because of a dementia diagnosis. That is insidious, and it's been happening for years, and we just didn't know it until we do it. So these 10 warning signs are helpful. The thing that's the most important out of any one of these 10 is it is new behavior. If you've got someone who never was really very good at sitting there, they're just so careful at it. But if you have someone who always was like the chef and could manage that and then they can't, you want to pay attention to that. So if new difficulty, new confusion, new problems, then that's what we want to pay attention to. And they're not always going to be literally obvious. But the more of these that sound familiar, the more likely it is that we got covered conversation.
Okay, so who gets Alzheimer's disease?
You see my grandmother on the right, that's my maternal grandmother, the one who you saw before. Guess what? My other grandmother had Alzheimer's disease too. Both of them did. Someone in the United States gets Alzheimer's disease every 66 seconds. So about a little more than 1 spin. It does not mean that people are walking down the street and they just all of a sudden have Alzheimer's disease. It's not like that. Alzheimer's disease is a long-term disease. It develops in the brain years before symptoms are apparent. Whether any one of us in this room is going to have Alzheimer's disease at some point is probably already determined. So it's not a sudden onset disease. There's not something you can do or not do to get or not have Alzheimer's disease. I promise I'll come back to the question. Okay? But we have the frequency of enough people being diagnosed with this disease that is about every minute. And in the next 27 years, it's going to double to every 33 seconds. People are living longer, and age is a big risk factor. We have better technology, we're not hereditary anymore. So we have better ways of diagnosing. And so that's those are 2 reasons that we are seeing that incidents happen more and more often. That should probably be updated to 7 million Americans, people in the United States, have Alzheimer's disease, and about 2/3 of them are female. There are women in the world, at least who identify as women or assign female at birth, and that's one reason. Women are also more likely to go to the doctor, so they diagnose more often. These 2 ladies, both of my grandmothers, other than being in the hospital and having children, and then at the end of life, when they pass away, no other health issues. Nothing. Just did not have heart disease, didn't have diabetes, didn't have anything, except for the Alzheimer's disease. So they're kind of an anomaly, really. There's some thought that women might have higher levels of diagnosis because they go to the doctor more often for more reasons, including pregnancy and childbirth, and so they have a baseline established. So here's what my health looks like. And so when there's a departure from it, it might be easier to discern. To the gentleman in the room, this is not really new off. You still have to keep listening because men get Alzheimer's disease just not as frequently as women. There's some evidence that estrogen plays a role in Alzheimer's disease, so that also explains why women get Alzheimer's. Not quite clear what that role is, but it's worth exploring. Women live longer. Yeah. Women's life expectancy in the United States getting pretty close to 80. Men is more like 74 to 75. 5 years makes a big difference at that stage of life. Also, the longer you live, the longer you live. Higher life expectancy means if you make it to 80, you're more likely to make it to 90 than some people make it to 40. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, sorry. So the question was about privileges that individually gets a little better. Yeah, sorry. You asked. I mean, I don't know if I would brought it up, but yeah. So privileging means privileging commercial comes on right before Final Jeopardy. Almost always. Very few exceptions. Privileging, basically, I get that question a lot. And I ask the neurologist so I can, have a legit answer. And our director of Alzheimer's disease research privileging will not make anything hurt you. It will not hurt you, but it also will not help you. Take it if you want. Buy stock in leaders of privileging. Lay down Shred, bless his heart, who said it could downprice and on the back and that. But it didn't. Privileging, it's just, again, it's just not, we don't have enough evidence to say that there's anything other like a placebo effect. You take it and you think, oh yes, I'm going to go in Jeopardy tomorrow. My brain is feeling better, but it probably does not do anything meaningful. My parents asked me for their for Christmas. In 2022, I had started working at KU, and so I went over to see them. And I had been on the job for like not even a month. And they said, well, you work at the ABRC now, so let's get some coverage in and let's get it to work. They did not ask for me versus 2023. So, it just, yeah.
What about brain exercises? They're always saying, keep your mind visible.
Yeah. So on the slide before, I talked about you're going to learn how to do things, do problems. The thing about brain exercises is there is some research that's fairly compelling that says anything you do that makes your brain work harder is a good idea. It's sort of the idea like if you're a weightlifter and you start by lateral lifting, so these numbers are not going to make sense in this number, but let's say you start by lifting 25 pounds. You lift, oh yeah, this is getting easy. I better add 10 pounds, so now I'm up to 35. Oh, that's harder. I can't lift as many at 35 as I could at 25, and eventually I can, so now I'm up to 50, and then 100. So anything you're doing that makes your brain roar. So if you're already doing the CrossFit workout every day, you gotta do the second CrossFit. If you're getting Wordle in 4 or 5, try to get it in 2 or 3. I don't know, that feels like, I mean, some people play the same start over with Wordle every day. I don't, I try different word every day. None of this is probably going to be something Alzheimer's disease, but the idea is to make your brain stretch itself, to do something new. Do a harder puzzle, learn a different language, walk 2 miles instead of 1. The idea is additive, add more stuff to make your brain work harder. You still don't get lost in the I write a newsletter for KU. You know about that. And every week I put a puzzle in there. And mostly I please myself. I find some puzzle that someone else started doing. Sometimes I write for myself. And I think for some people that's the newsletter, which is okay. But we believe that that's useful, even if it's just for do something that you would not have done today. That's what I mean. Okay, we'll probably do that. People of every race and ethnicity have Alzheimer's disease. So this conversation is represented by the Black colleagues of it. And we know that Alzheimer's disease is an equal opportunity disease. We also know that Black people are twice to have Alzheimer's disease, and Hispanics are 1.5 times. Why is that? Say again? Diabetes. You really want to talk about diabetes? Yes. You're not wrong. Yes. So, do Black people get Alzheimer's more often because of melanin? Probably not. Do Black people get Alzheimer's disease more often because of socioeconomic factors? Yeah. Because of less access to healthcare, because of increased risk because of diagnoses like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease. Yeah. Because of systemic racism. Yeah. For lots of reasons that people in these two racial groups are more likely to be exposed to, but doesn't mean everybody else is free. Not me. Because the truth is, everybody has a high risk in Alzheimer's disease. Back to where 2 Black ladies, born in the 1920s in Louisiana, both college-educated women, but both had bachelor's degrees. The third one, the right had a bachelor's degree, was a principal eventually in school. No health issues except for childbirth and Alzheimer's disease. Both Black. My mother is a registered nurse. My father is an OB/GYN. So if they had needed some kind of intervention, they had it at their disposal. I can't play the social worker part. I wish I could say, well, hey, I went to the Alzheimer's investigation. You're totally good. That didn't work. So there must be something to this. We don't know what it is yet. Because they didn't have any more risk factors than anybody else. And had in fact some protective factors. And still got Alzheimer's. So Sleep disorder most commonly look like sleep apnea, right? It's stopping breathing while we sleep. Well, if our brain is not getting enough oxygen, then we can't function well. If our brain has too much or too little blood sugar, we can't function as well as these. If our heart is not functioning well, and we can't send blood from the heart to the brain, we have problems. So yeah, all of those are contributing factors to this diagnosis. And then finally on here, 65 in Alzheimer's disease, and social had it was 26, and that person had a sibling who was 29, who also had Alzheimer's disease. That is very unusual, but not impossible. I do have to because I do have to on slides and lean back here and so let's get there. I think there's one more point in here. Yeah. We are at 3.
Shot. I mean, this
Okay.
amazing. Could we do a kind of overview in 5 more minutes?
We could.
And then we could continue, but anybody that would like to continue first.
Absolutely.
We could keep
Yes. Okay. You don't have to talk about it. Let me go to the side that I can say I'm coming to it. Oh, sorry, there is a picture of me. That's just me and my grandma. And she told me, okay, this is the process. I mean, I can tell you, but this will answer your question and this is kind of what you're looking for. Aging was for risk factor. Biggest piece of the pie. The female syndrome, another big piece of the pie. Family history, next biggest piece of the pie. So having relatives with this disease, compared to not having relatives with this disease, makes you more likely to get Alzheimer's. However, read the fine print. The vast majority of cases are not hereditary. How can both of those things be true? I don't know what they are. Heredity matters, genetics matters. We know that there are specific genes that are connected to having Alzheimer's disease. And if you have that disease, or if you have that gene, you're more likely to have to have Alzheimer's disease who doesn't have the gene. But just keeping things interesting, you can have the gene and not have Alzheimer's. You can not have the gene and still have Alzheimer's. So we don't know. All that to say, that you're thinking I'm going to say something specific. All that to say, we don't know. But you see the other pieces of the pie. Smoking, diabetes, cardiovascular, stroke, heart disease, all contributing factors toward Alzheimer's disease. So whatever you're doing to not have any of these, other than age and family history that you can't change, whatever you're doing to avoid the other pieces of the pie are due for your brain. Okay, so in the interest of time, I will tell you what. I will answer some more questions. I'll leave that one up for now. You should totally go see the rest of the museum now because it will make you feel happy and loving. It will trigger your long-term memory. It will give you some insight into how you might spend time with someone you love who is experiencing some of this stuff that we are talking about. We don't know yet the thing we have to push, but we have to push this is no more Alzheimer's. We do know that learning new information, that being not isolated, being in a social situation and talking to other people is a good idea. Even if only one person is talking and you're listening, it's still a good idea. Because your brain is processing. Your brain is getting new information. Red wine, dark chocolate, avocado, blueberries, hot sauce are all thought to be good for the brain. Did I say avocado? Yeah. We have 2 studies at KU happening right now that are looking at avocado consumption and hot sauce use as prevention for Alzheimer's. Hot sauce, jacuzzi. I know, you're probably like, that's not what she said, but that's what I said. Yes. Yes. We have a study, it's called FIGHT, and I don't know what FIG stands for. I really don't know. I don't know if I ever knew, but HG, I think, stands for hot sauce. That's how I remember. And we're asking people age 65 and older to come get the hot sauce 3 times a week. Oh, I know, right? And the theory is that the heat from the hot sun is good for your cognition. That's what that counts.
So how long are they sitting?
15 minutes at a time.
How long?
3 times a week. 3 times a week for, I don't know, I mean, probably like a month or something. I don't know, I'm not sure. It's not too long. So I
Kelly,
don't know.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes.
You said this in front of my husband.
Yes. Everyone sees the hot just started, so I don't know what the results are. So we're gonna have a packet of 3 different temperatures, and also a core set, a core lonely group that doesn't get to get in the hot tub, and we'll compare. I know.
How do you test it?
I think they're going to do MRIs and it's a test for changing shape and structure, and probably also some memory tests. Like, I'm going to tell you 3 words, and then the 5 tests I'll come back and say, what were those 3 words? And the half of people will remember them, the other ones won't have them. That might be it.
I think that's a good
That's
picture.
The Hot Tub Association of Americans will really love this. So is the Alzheimer Association. So the Alzheimer study we're doing, no Alzheimer's receive 1 avocado every day for 12 weeks.
So every day.
And you can have guacamole or whatever else you do. Yeah. And they'll compare the 2 groups. And we think the avocado group is going to do better. So, come to the 20th Street Museum, look at all the displays, go to Chipotle, it's not a Chipotle. Eat your avocados, drink your red wine, get the hot tub. It's getting to the time of the year where the hot tub is going to be nice, right? And then, hopefully you'll get your risk of Alzheimer's. If you have a loved one that already has a diagnosis, you'll get your dog out. And music is also a suggestion. I don't know if you're taking
We actually are going to, we're trying to bring a musician in,
Yes.
an art therapist
Yes.
on November 19th for Story Connections.
Perfect.
We're going to talk about our musical, then it should be musical
Yes.
and then do a sing-along.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Music has as much evidence as dolls maybe more. And that, that long-term part of our brain that remembers top 40 from the 70s is intact while whatever the top song was is. Nursing homes are going to be filled with Taylor Swift one day, right? It's going to be the thing. They might be now, I don't know. But it's so interesting to see how music and dolls and all these things that nurture what we remember from our childhood are so magical. They're not the cure yet. Can they make the day easy? Yes. Can they give us a break? Can they unlock something? My grandmother on the right, the one who started off with, she had been married 3 times. And I remember asking her, like, as a teenager, why did you get married 3 times? They're like, I'll tell you when you're older. I'm not in your business. I'm not going to tell you. And then as she went deeper into Alzheimer's, that filter about I'm not telling you all my business. Let me tell you about grandfather number 2. And just tell me the story. So this, really capitalizing on this long-term memory can do wonders for having a conversation. Can involve grandchildren and great-grandchildren in here. Sit with grandma while I take a break. You go sit with grandma and they're talking about your dog. That might be meaningful intervention for working with someone with dementia. So, at this last slide, we're sitting the last slide that I was talking about. So, if you're interested in knowing more about hot tubs or avocados or whatever, you can visit, you can write that down or commit it to your memory or just Google KU and Alzheimer's and you'll get there. You can get a newsletter that has a brain puzzle every week and other opportunities. You can find out about how to get in on the hot tub study or avocado study. Calling that number. You do not have to leave visits perfectly. You don't have to be a patient. It's all anonymous, confidential. You might get paid to buy avocados. You do not provide the hot tub, sorry. We provide something to the center. Almost all the centers we have provide application. Gift cards, so you don't have to be taxed or anything like that. The cure is going to come from research. The reason we know is that you can go down because you want them to let's practice on them. We have a site coming up that I'm really interested in that's going to look at cognition and menopause. So we're always looking for people of all ages. Lots of research has been done on young white men. That's why we have aspiration. Is because young white men were test subjects for research a lot of the time. And that's great, and we know aspirin can make your headache go away, or whatever. But we don't have enough information on whether aspirin and black women who get Alzheimer's disease more often there might be a connection. So we're always looking for anyone to do research. So that's the end of that connection. Thank you, Rachel and Alan, and Nicola, thank you for having me. Another question, she's asking a question.
Well, I don't know if anybody else works with dementia people, but in my group, I have some who are more friendly towards functions. So we have like a stuffed cat, and different things like that. Because not everybody had a child.
Right.
So I think having teddy bears.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it doesn't, yeah. When I say a doll, that's just my short way of saying something that you can hold on to. That can be a doll, a Barbie, stuffed dog, a stuffed cat, anything that just, you can't break it. If they throw it at you because they got mad, it probably won't break. It's fine. You can pull its head off. Why do people like to take Barbie heads off? I don't know. You can do that. You can really hang them up. And they'll be right there waiting for you to love on them again. So, yes, absolutely. Very cool. Okay.
Just a quick question.
Yes.
Something that the food is toxic.
Yes. Yes.
It's not organic.
Yes.
It's
So the information that we know about food, I don't have a lot of information about like the toxins and the pesticides and all that. I guess I'm sort of like, probably won't kill me, and don't worry about it too much. We do think that eating a lot of green leafy vegetables like kale, spinach, salmon is not green leafy vegetable, but it has omega-3 fatty acids in it. Cod, which doesn't have as good a PR against salmon does, but cod is supposed to be good for you. Dark chocolate, red wine, things that are good for your heart. Things that have been shown to be heart are also shown to be head healthy. So it's good for your heart, it's good for your head. If it makes you happy to eat ice cream, however, eat ice cream because we know depression and anxiety are linked to Alzheimer's disease. I'm not saying ice cream doesn't make you depressed or whatever, but whatever you're doing to bring some joy in your life, whatever it is that brings you pleasure and keeps you motivated to get out of your house on a sunny day or even a not sunny day, it is a good idea. I will say those who eat ice cream, in people with Alzheimer's disease, sweet tooth usually survives. So we had my grandmother, especially my maternal grandmother, who she would sit there and eat whatever we had prepared for her, and she'd be literally putting it in her mouth and saying, "You never feed me, I'm so hungry." I need my food, just not recognizing that she was eating. Or what, I'm not hungry at all, but here comes the ice cream. And ice cream is really dementia friendly because, who doesn't like ice cream, really? Most people like it. You don't have to have teeth to chew it. You're not going to choke on it if you swallow it. It's got some good fat, so it's full. And it's delicious, right? So ice cream is actually a pretty delicious friendly food. Ice cream, pudding, yogurt, it's got, usually some good fats in it to help it absorb. And then that is protein. So anyway, eat. That's it. I'm done.